Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about detail sections. I'm going to talk about two ways of doing that. One of them will be the callout, which is basically relying on the model itself and adding more elements to it. And the other one will be drafting view, which is basically 2D drawing everything from zero again, as if you're using AutoCAD. Well, the callout is what we usually use mostly, but anyways, I'm going to show you both of them. I'm using the same file that we used last time with all the wall types and floor types. So it's very important to have the right dimensions of the wall and the right layers with also the right thickness of it, with the right hatch as well. So remember last time we were very precise with that, and that's gonna help me a lot in the callout now. So I'm gonna start having my callout. I'm gonna go to View tab. I'm gonna click on callout and draw my section here, and it automatically goes under section. I'm gonna click on callout 1, and I'm gonna start basically adding more elements to it. So I remember that I had my insulation here, which was 6 inches thick, and I had my brick wall here. I had my thermal air insulation. I had my plywood sheeting here, and I had my gypsum board. So you can see that these are already in the right pattern. We don't really need to add more to it unless you need it. Except for the insulation does not have any hat, so we're gonna add, and because this is a stud wall but also an insulation, and this brick wall is not in the right hatch as well. So I'm gonna go to annotate. Basically what you use in detail drawings is annotate only. Annotate is everything 2D. So this is where you can load your 2D families, your detail items, everything like detail lines, region. So I'm gonna start with the insulation. When I click on it, I have the option to write the width and where I want to start from, and if I want to offset it. So it's already 6, which is right. I want it to be 6, and I want to start from the near side. I don't want it to be in the middle. So I'm gonna start drawing my insulation. So next thing I'm gonna do is drawing my brick. So I'm gonna go to components, repeat detail components. So it automatically gives me the brick. This comes by default on Revit, but you can always add as much as you want to it or create your own. But right now I already have a brick, so I don't need to do that. I'm gonna start drawing my brick on top of that. So you see that it's coming exactly, it's in its place, but I can still see the hatch under it. So what I'm gonna do basically, and instead of hiding my wall, because I don't want to, I still need the other elements in there, they're important to me. So I'm gonna add a layer behind the brick, which is white. I'm gonna move this one, MV, I type MV, move, and I'm gonna go to annotate, region, filled region, and I'm gonna draw a rectangle, a solid white rectangle. Maybe the first time you do that you might not have the solid white here. I created it before, so how you do it is the same as editing a wall type or floor type, anything you want. You duplicate it and then you put the color or hatch you need, and then you click OK. And I'm gonna check the button, and now I have a white solid. I'm gonna bring this back to its place, and now it's very clear. There is no hatch behind it anymore. So next thing I'm gonna start doing is loading more families and more components to my drawing. Basically, I should go to component, detail component, and start loading families. You can load whatever you want depending on how your detail section is. So right now I'm just gonna do random stuff. They're not specifically right. I'm gonna go to finishes. I'm gonna go to ceiling, acoustic ceiling. I'm gonna start adding ceiling to my drawing since it's not there. and it automatically comes with so many options, so many dimensions that is in there by default. So I'm gonna choose the biggest one. I'm gonna start adding them, and you can see that by default it gives me this dimension, which is the right dimension between each panel in the ceiling. Now I'm gonna add the suspension, for example. I'm gonna do the same step, load family, detailed item. I'm gonna go to finishes, ceiling, acoustic ceiling. Which one should we pick? We can pick whatever you want. I'm gonna pick that one, and I'm gonna start placing them very randomly at the moment. And now you can move this back down, so it matches with the suspension. It looks fine now. So you can add as much as details as you want. So I'm gonna stop with the call out here. So I'm gonna start with the drafting view that I told you about. So the drafting view, you have to go to the view tab, and there is something called drafting view. I'm gonna call it wall section, and click OK, and it automatically created a new view for me, which is white. So this means that my wall, my drafting is like I'm starting everything from zero. Basically, it's as if you're on your new page of an AutoCAD file. This is not as practical as that one, but sometimes you need it when you don't want to rely on your model if it's not so precise that the way we did it. So in this case, all you need to use is region, detail item, component. So I'm gonna start with the region, and I'm gonna draw my wall. I'm gonna draw the wall that I already created before, and I remember that the thickness of my wall was 1 foot. Okay, I'm gonna draw right now, and I'm gonna type 1 foot and 7/8 inches. So this was the thickness of my wall. I'm gonna click OK. So this is kind of a background for me, just to know where my wall stops on the exterior and interior. So I'm not gonna do the same details as we did in the other one, just so you can get introduced to more detailed components. So in this wall, I'm gonna add stucco on the exterior, and I'm gonna add gypsum board on the interior. So let's start with the gypsum board. I'm gonna load a new family, detail components. I'm gonna go to detail items, and then finishes, gypsum board, and then you have all the stuff that are related to gypsum board. Basically, I'm gonna use this one, which is gypsum board, wall board section. Open, and now I have gypsum board in my interior. And remember, this has to be in the inside, so I'm gonna move it because this is the maximum thickness of my wall. I cannot go further than that. I'm gonna add the other side right now, which is stucco layer. Let's go again to annotate components, detail items, detail components, sorry, loads family, detail items. Let's see, finishes. Maybe it's under, yeah, it's right here, stucco section. You can see that it comes with the right hash, so you don't really need to change it unless you want to. So next thing I'm gonna add is my sheeting layer, which is plywood. Again, same steps. Oops. Component, detail component, load family, detail items. It's supposed to be under wood and plastic, sheeting, and here are my. I'm gonna choose this one, gypsum sheeting section. I'm gonna open. Let's see what options I have. Thickness, what should I choose? Let me choose 1/2 inch. Maybe more than half. Let's say 1 inch. Maybe we need to add more layers depending on your wall, but I'm not going to add more layers. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna decrease the dimension of this space here, which is my insulation. I'm gonna do it 5.5. Let's see how much it is now. I'm gonna see it's 1'3", which is too big. So let's edit that, edit boundary. I'm gonna move this to here and move this to here, and I'm gonna make this 5.5 inches and click OK. I'm gonna move my gypsum board back here. I actually changed it just because I'm not gonna spend so much time on adding more detail components. So I'm just gonna start adding the window here to show you what other components you can add. First I'm gonna choose the window sill, which is also under detail component, probably under wood and plaster, under wood framing, lumber section, right. I'm gonna click OK, and I'm gonna see what the other options I have. Let's see, 6 maybe. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now what I want to add is my window. Also under detail components, let's go to detail item, openings. Where are openings? Here. Okay, let's go to the wood windows and let's see what we want exactly. Okay, let's choose this one for now. You can pick whatever you want, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna put it right there. And now we kind of have a very simple wall section. So I'm not gonna add more detail components to this anymore. I'm just gonna talk about how you can end the section here and there, which is the last components, unfortunately. I'm gonna go again to detail item, general, it's break line, and I'm gonna add this break line here just to show where my drawing is ending, and I'm gonna mirror it and put it on the other side of my drawing. I'm gonna move it, and you can make this bigger. Oops. Well, you shouldn't really have a long long wall that much. Okay, it's not working because it's I'm zooming out too much to make everything fit in there. Okay, so now we have only this detail here, and this is how basically you do your drafting detail. And remember that you can always add annotations to your drawing. You can go to text and you can pick the type, and let's say I want to say gypsum board. And that's it. That's it for today. I hope it was useful.